Hello, everyone, and welcome to this night, the walk through the catalog. Tonight, we're going to be doing something, going over something near and dear to my heart. It is a thing that is called the anti-cholesterol, and it actually supports the brain waves. We'll go into a little bit more about that as we get there. Just as a disclaimer, I'm not intended to treat, cure, diagnose anything. So these are facts, and have some fun learning. So, got fat. Well, we all do. I'm talking about the fat that you can't see, the fat inside. This, again, looks like a vessel, and it kind of looks like, if you think about it, a pipe. Look at your drainage pipe. It builds this plaque around it. Well, in this particular case, this is the plaque buildup of cholesterol or fat. So what do all of these have in common? Yeah, egg yolk, soybeans, wheat germs, sunflower seeds, chicken liver. I'm going to let you say it.
Lecithin.
Okay, because I always say it wrong. So it is actually something found in all of these particular things, and it's not in the egg whites, it's in the egg yolks. Make sure, again, organic soybeans, organic wheat germ. There's your sunflower seeds and your chicken liver. So again, it's primarily found actually in higher concentrations in soybeans and eggs. They also contain sources of choline, and we'll go into what that is later on. But lecithin has been tied to protection from non-alcoholic fatty liver diseases and chronic and liver cirrhosis, according to the January 2016 review in Advances in Nutrition. The researchers say that choline, especially in the form of polyphosphatidylcholine or lecithin, may remove fat from your liver and prevent buildup. But we should not exceed 5,000 milligrams per day. That's a lot. We've taken a look at that, and that's actually quite a bit. So why this particular phospholipid? If you think about going back to biology, it is actually naturally created in the liver. It assists with the emulsification, the breaking up of the fats, making it possible for your water-soluble enzymes. So normally you hear protease, lipases, amylase. Those are most of your common one for carbs, sugars, proteins, and milk, lactose. But there's tons of more. There's about 3,000 different digestive enzymes. That they're water soluble. And if you think about it, if you take fat on a plate and you flush water over that fat, what happens? Well, it just runs off. It doesn't break up that fat. You need an emulsifying agent. So to break that apart, that's an emulsifying agent. It's like your dishwasher detergent. It emulsifies the fat. It breaks things up. So it makes it possible for those water soluble enzymes in the duodenum, which is just a fancy area in the small intestines. There's actually 3 different areas in the small intestines, but you need that in order for it to operate optimally. If you take a whole food, the fats are not what's called in a free form. They're still surrounded by the phospholipid bilayer, which is that fat layer, and will remain water soluble and impair the digestive process until the enzymes in the duodenum and the small intestines extract it from its free form. So again, it has to break it up. The liver can only produce a limited amount of lecithin, which plays a significant role in the metabolism of fats in general and protects against the accumulation of fatty deposits in the arteries, which is just one of the places. Believe me, we can be here all night just to go over that. Lecithin is AKA brain food. It's anti-cholesterol nutrient and a component of every single cell. So some people may be just taking it for the simple benefits of breaking up and emulsifying that fat, but it actually has a bigger thing because we need it to actually help the cells. We need it to help the brain. So lecithin was first isolated from egg yolks back in the 1850s. In fact, the Greek word for egg yolk, I'm not going to say that because I don't speak Greek, is the basis name for lecithin. It's a crucial, important nutrient found in every single cell in the body, especially those as a major building block of cell membranes. So we just got done talking about a different phospholipid that helps with cell membranes. This does too. So due to its unique chemistry, it has a natural emulsification properties, meaning it can disperse lipids, fats, or oils in the body. These lipid dispersing capabilities contribute to a host of critical biological functions. So again, it's huge. If we have fat buildup, eating, and I'm not anti-animal consumption. If you have your ethical reasons why, I understand that. But eating too much animal proteins and fats is actually very bad on the body. It creates too much stress. And again, there's a whole another session on it, but we need this no matter if you're consuming a lot or a little, we need this. And for those people that have a possible impact to their liver or the production of this lecithin, we need to supplement that. We need to get those extra supplies to it. So the uses, well, this is crazy. Uses according to, and the source is down there, so you don't think I'm just making things up. Dementia or cognitive impairment, high cholesterol, mastitis is an inflamed breast tissue, actually very common in men. There's a reason why, and it ties into the hormones, which creates that inflamed breast tissue, ties into the prostate and all that stuff. So uncontrolled body movements, that was very interesting. But again, this is tied into the brain waves. Inflammatory bowel disease, some people think of IBS, this is IBD, very, very common. So the one thing we're going to talk about is the lecithin, is what's actually in this particular product. So you have, fat. It is a type of fat. It's got vitamin E, which is an antioxidant. Again, it's the non-synthetic D-alpha tocopherol, non-synthetic version of it. So it's an antioxidant, huge. It is a fat. Magnesium, there's so many different benefits from magnesium. We'll get to that one, but it's just great for everything in the body. And most of us are actually deficient in it. These two in particular, the choline and inositol. I have to bring up a different sheet for this one. The inositol plays a structure in your body as a major component of cell membranes. It influences the action of insulin, hormone essential for blood sugar control. In addition, it affects chemical messengers in your brain, such as serotonin and dopamine. Go ahead with choline.
So for choline, it plays an important part in many processes in your body, including liver function, healthy brain development, muscle movement, your nervous system, and metabolism. It's needed for cell structure. So it actually makes the fats that support the structural integrity of cell membranes. It's also used in cell messaging. So if you need to, the cell-to-cell communication, it helps with that. It helps with the fat transport and metabolism. So it is actually essential for making a substance required for removing cholesterol from your liver. So if you have inadequate choline, it may result in fat and cholesterol buildup in your liver, and thus the fatty liver. So it's also used for DNA synthesis. Choline, along with vitamins B12 and folate, help with process that's important for DNA synthesis. And lastly, it helps for it's good for a healthy nervous system. So it's used to make acetylcholine, which is a neurotransmitter involved in memory, muscle movement, and it regulates the heartbeat and other basic functions. So
when you're talking,
pretty important.
Yeah, when you're talking that along with magnesium, oh my Lord, there's just a perfect storm for your body. So this is the product that we're talking about. The Neolife product. This is lecithin. And the way what he's taught me is we want less of the we want less of the fat and we want to be thin. So if you think about it, we want less
Less is thin.
Yeah, less is thin. Yeah, there we go. There's a perfect way of thinking about it. So again, component of every cell. So now for those people that have the fill in the blanks, if you could, we're going to go to those. For those that don't have the blanks, we can get you those blanks.
There's only a few of them here. So
we already went over that first one.
Yeah, the egg yolk. So for number one, under the fill in for lecithin, it is wonderful for circulation. You want to just finish them out? Or
number two is fantastic for brain health.
And number three, it's for breaking down the fats in the cardiovascular system.
So basically, it's huge when it comes to the body. And like I said, it is created by the body. As long as the body is functioning, it creates a limited amount. But if you do have other impacts to your body, such as things going on in the digestive tract, say you're not breaking down, and there's a whole structure when it comes to the gallbladder. If you don't have the gallbladder, that's a whole nother mess. The liver, the small intestine, surprisingly, is actually just as important when it comes to breaking down the food, because you've got the stomach, which actually the fat doesn't really get broken down in. It keeps going, and there's just different chains. And if these chains, again, it's like a domino effect. If something's stuck, not working right, or if something's missing, such as the gallbladder, since doctors seem to think it's a throwaway organ, they can impact your digestion. It can impact the amount of lecithin that you need. So there's all sorts of factors. It is brain food. You saw that? It's helpful for the brain waves.
Very, very essential for the body. Again, it's the anti-cholesterol and natural emulsification of the fats and oils found in every cell of the body. But a cool thing right there, it's the only supplement that can detox heavy metals out of the brain. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and just like we were saying about the gallbladder, it's very, very supportive to the gallbladder. The gallbladder is the reservoir for bile, which bile actually helps the lecithin in the emulsification and breakdown of the fats and foods and everything like that. So if those components are missing, and if your liver, which is responsible for about 300 different processes, if that's not functioning right, you can see the chain of effects. So that is what covers for this. And this bottle doesn't do enough. It really doesn't get enough. I had no idea about this bottle. I actually take this every single day. I've never been diagnosed with cholesterol versus this guy right here, Mr. High cholesterol.
Mr. Fit guy over
here. Yeah, Mr. Fit guy. He was diagnosed with high cholesterol quite some time ago. He manages that along with his Hashimoto's and his pre-diabetic. All again, doctors had told him this is what you got. And he says, I don't think I want that anymore, and I'm going to give it back.